Hi guys, it's Belle here and happy Monday. It's the first Monday of 2025, so happy Monday. And it is time for day 6 of Junk Journal January 2025, and today's prompt is embossed. But before we get into that, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that my cover has changed. It was really bothering me, and thank you to everyone who was giving me suggestions on what it might be as well. I think we were all thinking along the same lines. I loved the image I used on the front of this, which was a Tracy Fox one from her December Daily kit last year, 2024, last December, so just gone, 6 days away, 6 days ago. What a words. But it wasn't fitting with the overall vibe, so I brought in one of the Tim Holtz photo boofy peeps, and I really like the fact that there's two on there, looks like friends. And then I really didn't like the red flower that was here, so I covered that up with some music paper, which meant I had to then I brought in some more of the tape to kind of, because the music paper was just kind of sitting there when that had been stitched. And the tape kind of helps cover that and make it feel more cohesive. I brought in a little black piece of ephemera because you could still see some of the dark brown from the image underneath. If you're not sure, if you're new here, hello, I will put the other cover here for a few seconds and then you can see them side by side. And what I also did was I couldn't take off the black butterfly, so I really added more gilding to it, although then you couldn't see it. And then I added one of these Tim Holtz metal butterflies that I've got, but I've never used them. I just love them so much. And I added some threads just to add a bit more texture and detail, and I stitched around the image. I used cross stitch Aida scrap for the back. I like the pop of white. I think if it had been too dark, it just needed something to lift it. I think the problem was I inked on this and used my crackle stamp, which I normally love, but I think it dulled it down too much. So I then went around all the letters that were in boxes with my black pen, you know, the way I like to sketch around things. And the black letters I went around with, did inside the white. I think that makes that pop. And I put embrace possibility because it needed a word on there. I felt like because this was on here, we couldn't have another word, and actually we could. And I used the popper black as well. And I think it pops much better now. And I went around those with my white gel pen as well. And embrace possibility because we are embracing possibility. And I want to show you as well, we're going to be using dried flowers today, but something I didn't do on camera, but I will do today. I went over my dried flowers with Mod Podge, with like a matte medium, to really help them stay in place and protect them. So this was yesterday's page, our lovely Robert, who was going for his job interview. Love it. We're now on this page, guys. And as I said, today's prompt is embossed. Now, there's many ways you can do embossing. Do you remember the old tool? I still have my light box with the old tool that had like a ball on the end, and you would get like wax or something, and then you'd be able to press through the embossing folders. I've still got that. Obviously, you can use folders like this. This is embossing. Embossing basically means something's raised, you know, like part of the image. You've got debossed where the image goes in. Let me see. So embossing, the image is raised, and then debossed, the image is pressed in. So that's basically, if you want to take the very literal meaning. So if you use your stencil, which we may do today, that's embossing. You obviously, there are embossing folders. I'm going to be using some embossing folders today. But if you don't have embossing folders and you don't have texture paste, just get something that's got some texture like this. Like this texture is bubbly, so you could get away with saying this is embossed, or it's a type of embossing. It's raised, you can feel it. This is just some canvas art paper that I have left over as a scrap. And the other way is obviously you can use embossing glazes, embossing powders, and you can also use shimmer like autumn leaves, they're gilding flakes, and you know, you can use that. You can use a stamp, raise it, you can do resist embossing, like there's so many ways, guys. And I just want to do something a bit more, oh sorry for knocking you, something a bit more simplistic. I say simple, I always say that, and then, well, we all know what I'm like. So what I want to do is I want to bring in some vintage tissue pattern paper, and I'm actually going to put it over both of the sides. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it in on both of these. So we're going to do that first. So let's get my Mod Podge. For that, need a Mod Podge brush. It would help if I got that first, wouldn't it? So let's get a Mod Podge brush. And we are going to, I love vintage sewing pattern paper. I particularly love it in this kind of sepia colour, this tan colour. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. I really am. Do you know what? Last night, just before midnight and just after midnight, it actually snowed. Now, the reason I'm so excited is where I live in the UK, we're lucky if we see snow at all 1 year to the next. And I was lying in bed, wasn't quite ready to go to sleep, was reading. And I thought, what's all that noise outside? It sounds like it's raining. But then I could hear people like cheering and getting all excited. And I thought, what's going on? It's a bit late to start a party. And then I looked out, and my back garden there was a very small, thin layer of snow all over the back garden, all over the roofs on the houses opposite. And I was just like, it's snowing. By this time, my partner, bless him, who has had some very early mornings and very long days at work, was already fast asleep. My son was awake, so I knocked on his door and went, it's snowing. And he was just like, yeah. Okay, Mum. But I got all wrapped up, still in my pajamas, put on my coat, scarf, wellies, the whole lot, hat, the whole lot, and went outside and enjoyed the snow. Because I am a big child. I love the snow, and we get it so rarely. I don't think we had snow last year. Maybe it snowed and didn't settle. I think we had like sleet snow where, yeah, it never settled. So I love the snow, so I was super excited. I'm going to dry this. Okay, so yes, I was out enjoying the snow like the big child that I am. I have one of these vintage cards, tea cards. Now, we used one. Oh, I forgot to show you. I cut off the edges and everything as well. And I did just go in with my emery board and just like file it a little bit. We used one here, and I had a couple of other options, but I thought these worked quite well. If we open it up, I feel like these go quite well with the rest. So I want this lovely couple on there. I do actually just have some embossed card already, and it would save me having to emboss any others. I was going to use like this floral embossing one. Do you know what? I think I will still use the floral one. And the reason for that is that I want to, hold on, let me get a sheet of paper. I want to actually spray water on the inside of this. And then I want to use some colour, and I'm thinking we might bring in, what do I want? Do I want the blue? My blue ink pad really doesn't work very well, but we'll try it. You should never do this, guys. I'm just going to say it. Never put your ink pad already on the water. Just don't do that. And just in case that didn't work, after saying don't do that, I'm going to bring in a pop of yellow, I think. Just a little bit. And we're going to see how that works. And I'm going to emboss We're actually going to do 2 lots. I'm going to emboss some white card. It can also help if you dampen the card as well, just to make it less likely to kind of rip and things. Should have done it on the other side. But I'm going to go run this through my embossing folder and then we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so let's open that up. You can see the yellows come off, but the blue hasn't come off quite as well as I would probably like. So I'm just going to run my blue ink pad over the top of this a little bit, because we can still wet this and make that move a little bit, and then I may run it back through my embossing machine. So I ran that through my machine, and whilst it's still wet, I'm going to bring in some of my vintage photo. I've never done this before, but I've seen a lot of people do it. I'm going to bring in the vintage photo embossing glaze, and it should stick to the wet pieces. So I am going to, I think it says you're supposed to leave it to dry. Maybe that's just for texture paste. So I'm going to bring in my heat tool again and we'll see how that looks. So in all honesty, that didn't work as well as I would have liked it. It just looks a bit of a mess. So I thankfully have this piece rather than that piece. My gosh, embossing glaze everywhere now. So yeah, I have this piece and we're going to do something different with that. So just play around. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. And this is going to go on here. And I know we've got some pops of yellow like here. And so I thought it'd be nice to bring in that as well. So that's what we're going to do. I'm keeping in mind now as I'm creating what the other pages, how they're looking, because yeah, I like to do that. Oh, I forgot about this as well. If you've got anything like this, this can be called embossed. I think I might add that as well somewhere, possibly. Okay, so they're going to go on this side like so, and we do have the green. I feel like I really wanted this kind of pattern, but I might want it in black. I might want this couple, because I have been finding that I'm enjoying working with pops of black on here as well. Oh, and I want flowers. That's what I want. I want flowers up the side. So let's glue these onto here. And then I feel really bad. So this is Film Partners, Series 48 of number 13, Josephine Hutchinson and George Brent in The Sacred Flame, First International. Finely acted drama. Josephine appears as Stella, whose husband Maurice meets with a serious accident. To speed his recovery, his brother, played by George Brent, is recalled from South America, and Stella and Colin are continually thrown together and fall in love. So there we go. Don't know. Never seen that one. I do like old movies, but I haven't seen that one. So, and this black card that I'm using, let me bring that up to you, also has texture on it. So to me, embossed means raised texture. Like, we don't all have embossing folders and embossing machines and texture paste and things. So I just try and give you guys other options, and I'm trying to look at it a bit differently as well for myself, because my go-to would be pull out my embossing folders, which I have done, but I'm trying to also bring it in other ways. I don't like how straight that is. That will have to change, because I don't like straight edges very much. And that's why I was wondering if we bring something like this in, and we're gonna have the flowers as well. What could we do with this? That could be turned brown, possibly. We do need a pop of red because at the moment a lot of them are also having pops of red. Should we get this glued down? I need to dry it first. Okay, so let's bring this in now. Get this on here. So I hope you're all having a lovely time. Honestly, I was so excited by the snow. I was like a big child. I love walking in crisp snow and then seeing footprints. I was just so excited. I don't need to do so much in that corner because we'll be trimming that corner off. I was out there taking lots of pictures. The funny thing is, because my camera sort of reacts to the night, the pictures actually look like it's bright daylight. And I'm having to say to everyone I sent them to, it was actually after midnight, guys. It just looks brighter than it was. And it was just so nice hearing like everyone, well, other people out enjoying themselves as well. I like to do that when there's a nice storm, you know, when there's a thunderstorm and the thunder looks, the lightning looks so pretty. We used to do that with the kids. We say, quick, come on guys, it's snowing or it's beautiful storm or something like that, and you just grab them and go out and enjoy the weather, as long as you're wrapped up warm. And yeah, I wasn't sleeping anyway, so why not go out and enjoy it? Right, we're going to bring these back in. I'm pretty sure they're going to be stitched because that's what I want. I want that there. I also have a little tag, but I am going to add some dried flowers to this. So I was thinking about putting the tag for the flowers, but we could put it on the couple. Let's grab the flowers. I've got the green. Oh, I've got this kind of deep red. This is in my scrap box, just kind of sitting there. Let's have a look at what this looks like. Because it's just that very straight edge that's kind of bothering me a lot. So yeah, I can't really cope with it. Can't cope with the straight edge. Like so. Sometimes I feel like I need to open it up just so I can see it against other things. Let's have a look in my ephemera. We do have another piece of blue that we could bring in, which I quite like. Do have the label as well. I'm adding dried flowers, so I don't need those. Do you have this big? That would have looked quite good, wouldn't it? Like if we put them in there. We might change this up completely. Why not? Well, I know this is sideways, guys, but that really doesn't bother me. And we could change this up. We can still add the flowers to it and maybe add a label up there. Again, I need to keep in mind that there's probably going to be a tag up there. So maybe the label down here. Like so. So we could do that. I mean, why not change it up halfway through the whole thing, yeah? I just wasn't liking it. I feel like that was looking maybe a bit empty. But we also do need the flowers. I think I would cut this down, actually. I don't think I want the border around the blue. And this has both pops of blue and red on it. And little pops of yellow. So that's really good. So we can actually cut this down and make it even smaller. Some of you might be bothered by the, I want the names on there actually, by the fact that it's sideways. But I really am not bothered by that at all. Like so. So that was those. Let me just see if there's anything else. We did have the parcel post. We had that. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I can play with that might give me the I don't know, the feel that I'm going for. Let me have a look if I just pull this off again. I know it's a lot of playing, guys, but you know what? This is the process. Sometimes you've just got to play around and see what it is. I do think there's something missing there. I think that's what's bothering me. Bring in the blues. I thought I got another piece out. Did I just get these two out? Oh, we could always have that up there, like so. At an angle. There is that. Let's have a look at bringing in some labels of some sort. We've got a little square label there. Could just go there. But I feel like we've got that on this page. I think that's bothering me. But I want the flowers. I want the flowers coming down this side. So maybe here. Maybe this is what it needs to be. Like so. And I've just got to play around until I'm happy. And, you know, that's okay. I prefer that, actually. I do actually prefer that a lot. Let's have a look for any other little bits. Could put that under there. I can cut the other bit off so we just have that on there. Parcel post instead. I like that, actually. I like that display, but I feel like we need more here. I don't know if we need more embossing or what we need, but we need more there. Let's cut that off so I can keep that bit. And let's glue some of these together. So today's one of those days where I thought I had a plan, and then actually my plan completely changed, and that's okay. That's really okay. Let's move this over. Is that there or there? And I think I want to emboss on here. So let's glue this down. Before I stick it down, I'm going to emboss on this tiny little card there. Actually, we don't need all of that, do we? I can actually cut some of that off and save it for another project. So let's do that. Like so. I mean, yeah. Okay, so let me emboss on here. What do I want to put? What do I want to put? What do I want to put? Let's use one of these. I don't want a flower because we've already got a flower. I feel like note's too big. 1134. I like the 34. That's cute. Department. Would that fit in there? Because I feel like, I don't know if this is a better one here. I feel like, you know, I think we're going to do the 34. That's what we're going to do. Let me put that to one side. And I'm going to emboss it with my Versamark. Let's put that on there first, shall we, Belle? And what I'm wondering is, I don't know if I have a dark blue or if I want a dark blue. We may just, probably would have helped if I'd got the embossing before. I do have some red. Oh, I have black. Well, actually, it's an antique gold. Or the red. Do I want to bring in the red? That might be too much red. Let's do it. Let's just do it and not overthink it. Let's bring in the 34. It would have been nice, I think, with a pop of blue, but there's also a lot of blue on there, so we don't need it. This is just heat it up a rich red. Oh. I think that 4 got a bit moved. That's where I come in and just move that now. Okay, I'm going to heat emboss that. Okay, that wasn't a perfect impression, as you can see, but also I don't mind that. And because we've got so much red, I'm going to come in with my fine liner and go around the red box with my fine liner wibbly wobbly, because I like that look. Okay, and that is going to fit onto there like so, which is going to all go on here. Let's close this back up again so I can see what I'm working on. Just going to come on to here like so. Do we want a bit of fabric? I've got a bit of fabric here, and we could bring that in for a tiny bit of text. Yes. There's no need to even think twice about it. Yes, for the texture. So anyway, I know some of you who watch get a lot of snow. But here where I am in the UK, literally, guys, we're lucky if we get a few flurries. And as always, I then woke up this morning. It was raining heavily and every single inch of snow had disappeared. So I am so glad that I decided to go out and spend some time out in the snow, because it's gone. And, you know, I would have been really sad if I'd actually missed that. It's just gone. Ugh, it does make me sad when that happens. I'm wondering if I want, like, I could put like a little tab of fabric there too. And we're going to do something else as well, which I think can be classed as embossing. You guys might disagree with me, but, you know, why did that move? But I think it could be classed as embossing. I think I want, yeah, a little bit of fabric somewhere. I have some vintage tape somewhere, but I don't know where it is right at this moment, because I like the look of vintage tape on something. I'm trying not to make it too dark, because there is like a grungy element to some of this, but there's also these bright pops of colour, so I'm trying to make sure that I keep that bright aspect whilst bringing in a teensy bit of neutral grunge. No, I think that's not right either. Maybe I needed it in colour. Maybe that's the problem. So maybe that just keeps moving. Stick. For goodness sake, stick down. Irritating me hugely. Oh, okay. I've just thought of something. I have some white trim here, like this one. I'm wondering if we can colour it. Maybe, or maybe we do just want it in white. Is it because we've got like a long bit there and a long bit there. Is that what's bothering me? Like we've got these two long things. Maybe that's not any good. Maybe this more vintage look is. Something's not right and I can't work out what it is. Maybe we do it over this side. That might be it. I might need it on the other side. That might be the problem. Let's see if I can double these up and what that would look like. Okay, okay. Right. That I like. What I'm going to do though is, say it with me, I'm going to stitch, guys. I'm going to stitch down that, bringing in a little bit of black and making that pop more. And then we're going to add the flowers. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but my sewing machine is very, very angry with me. And it is torn up the lace and everything else. Now, I can still use this on here, but obviously that is not ideal. But I can come in. I was going to put like a little tag on here anyway. Let me have a look if I've got a smaller one. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to stop. Wouldn't it? It always happens, doesn't it, guys? I literally have the busiest filming day today. And today is the day that my sewing machine has decided to be angry for some reason and not want to work the way it's supposed to work. Like, yeah, I don't know. I do not know what is going on with it, but that's okay. We're gonna move on, and this is super bulky, but I am going to just add this little tag. It'll cover that bit. We don't have the white lace on here. This is going to be another one of those days where I'm not overtly happy with the overall finished piece. Oh, do you know what we could have in it? Why don't I, hold on, instead of putting a brad, which could end up being super bulky, why don't I, this is the thing to do when it's already not working, use an eyelet on this instead. And we've gone through some stitching and stuff, that's okay. Let's pick an eyelet. Let's have a pop of, do we want the blue? Do we want a bit of brown? We could have another pop of red, couldn't we? Let's have a pop of red on there. Make sure that is pushed through the back. Oh, it's a disaster day. It's a disaster. I've got so many videos to film and stuff to get ready. We're taking my son back to university tomorrow, which will be sad. I've really enjoyed having him home, you know. And just getting time to spend with him. But we're going to make sure we make the most of this evening with lots of games and just catch up time before he goes back to uni. Okay, fixed? Maybe. Don't know. Am I going to call it fixed? Yes. And I'm also wondering if we want to bring in just some like numbers and things in the background here. But again, let's bring them in Versamark so that we can, what's the word I'm looking for? So that we can emboss that. Oh, Belle's tutorial on what not to do, or when things go wrong when you're crafting. It happens, guys. just happens and we move and just go with it. Maybe have the flowers. We're not going to see all of the flower, but that might be quite nice. I just feel like this is a lot of empty space and I'm not sure I like it up here. Okay, and I am going to use on this one the vintage photo, no, vintage photo, yes, embossing glaze. Oh, it's being excited about the snow, that's what it is. I was too focused on being excited and sharing about that. Okay, and I am going to emboss that. Okay, so that is embossed. You see that? You can also see I've got some embossing powder there. It literally goes everywhere. And now we're going to bring this in. Again, we don't see a lot of that. I could bring it down, but it'll be a problem with over there. We don't really see a lot of that flower, but I'm going to have to be okay with that. It just gives us something in that background, and I think yeah, we're going to have to now stick this down and hope that it sticks. I mean, what is that? Why is that there? This is ridiculous, the amount of stick. Yeah, my machine, I think I'm actually going to have to take the top bit off and check if something is underneath. There shouldn't be, but, and I clean my machine regularly with a thread, and that is, or I do now, because it wasn't getting as done as regularly as it should, and that was causing problems. Okay. Got a little tag. I feel like this is more vintage. Oh no, it actually looks okay. All right, we're back on track. Whoop whoop. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to put some dried flowers on. I need to bring, sorry, I just knocked you. Let's bring in some dried flowers. I want to pop a blue. Maybe a pop of pink. Oh, I bring in one of these because they're one of mine that I have dried. And I feel like I want a leaf again. Okay, let's bring some in and just play with them as we do. So I love the leaves in the background. I feel like this couple's going on a date, you see. And so he's bought her flowers, a bit like in the other one. But now we know, well, I don't know how I feel about it now that I know that she's falling in love with her husband's brother. I mean, I don't think... I want to keep their name. I do want to do that because I want to know who these people are. I want to bring in some flowers like so. And I was going to bring in one of mine that I have dried. Where is it? It's here. I don't know if it'll fit on this page the way I want it to. Oh, actually, I quite like that. I think it's because, oh gosh, the petals not quite right. I think I would need to play with the petal and get it in order, and I can cut some of that off. Okay, let's start. Where did my... Let's start layering things. Now, I'm going to put some Mod Podge where the flowers are. Last time I showed you how you can do it with glue, but this time, that little leaf broke too. This time we're going to kind of glue it down in place, which is going to activate that colour, but that's okay, with some Mod Podge. I'm going to bring it up a little bit actually. I can still see her name. And then I am going to Mod Podge all over it. Oh my gosh, you have to be so careful with these. Really do have to be careful because they're so delicate. Name, Belle. You want to keep the name. So, like so. That will dry clear. And then we're going to bring in my flower. And I'm actually going to add the Mod Podge to this bit because I'm going to glue that petal where I want that petal to be. Actually, what I need to keep in mind is I'm actually going to put a wax seal on here, guys. Do we want a little blue flower also brought in, or another little pink one? I think the pink would work quite well. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. That's so cute. Right, not that bit. Sorry. Going all over Robert. Sorry about that, Robert. So I'm now going to put Mod Podge all over the top of these flowers very delicately. It keeps them in place. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? I think I'm going to get a softer brush. Get this little small one. I think this might work better for just keeping them in place. It protects them so that they're not falling off as you're using your journal or your project or whatever you're doing. Once it's dried, yeah, it does work, believe me. You just have to be careful, and like I say, sometimes it's best to use a smaller brush that's a softer brush, just so that, because dried flowers can want to break apart. Okay, I'm going to go put my brushes in some water and then we'll come back. Okay, so that's now dry on there as well. And we're going to come in with, I'm going to have to keep it flat as well. I've got this wax seal. And I did think, right, I'm going to have to be careful. I'm bringing my little candle. And where are my wax? Here they are. Gonna have to be careful I don't get my hand in the flame. And I also thought that this would be very similar to the, what's the word I'm going for? To embossing. This is another way that you could emboss. Do I want this or do I want a brownie gold? Maybe more blue. Yeah, so this could be a good way to emboss as well if you've got a wax seal. So let's heat this up. And yeah, once this is heated, we'll come back and do the seal. Okay, so that's basically done. And what I like to do is come in often with a little stick or something and just swirl the colours together. But if you don't do that, you'll get more of a definition. But I kind of just like the marbled look. So we're going to move this. And it's going down here. Right down the bottom. Make sure I get some on there. And then let's put our leaves on here. Blow that candle out before I put my arm in it or something else, because the way this video is going, that is a real possibility. I love working with wax seals as well, so I wanted to bring in one of those. Oh, that's just so pretty. Now, I mean, it's not dry yet. Why did I even touch it? Now, you can go over that in gold or something, but I don't want to, because I don't want to add gold to this, but you can take a gold pen and go over the outline and the image on the wax seal. You can do that. I don't know how I feel about this page. It's not a favourite, that is what I do know. And now I'm trying to find... I've just found... I know I shouldn't laugh, but I was thinking of putting... it says turn the page on here. I thought this would work quite well. Because that's how I feel. Just turn the page. Just turn the page. Turn the page and just forget. I mean, it's not awful. Otherwise, I would have covered it up and all that kind of thing. There's something not right about it. I'm going to trim this down because these are always so big, these tape ones. And I feel like, where are my... I was looking for my tweezers. I feel like, do you know what? I feel like that helps. This is very messy. I think that's part of what I really don't like, is I just feel that's very, very messy. And some of that leaf kind of broke and everything. So we're just going to have turn the page, because we are just going to turn on to the next page. Oh, I like that. I wonder if we could do something else. Take risks. Turn the page. Be curious. Inspire. I feel like it needs another one. Start somewhere. Yeah, turning the page. Take risks. Maybe we should have that on there because, you know, we tried some stuff. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. So this is a very long video. I'm guessing. I haven't checked. Take risks. Could have that there, or do I want it there? Or on top of here? I like that. It goes there. Okay, that just makes it so much more better. I really prefer that. I'm wondering if I want some splatters on here too, but I think that could be too much. Maybe this is just too perfect, this lace. Let's have a look. This is what it looks like. That needs to glue down. This is what it looks like by itself. And hopefully the next video will go a lot better. Will that? Yeah, that will bend. Actually, I don't mind it now. Yeah, adding those words helped to bring it together for me. I don't know. You guys might think not, but it does for me. And I still do think it fits with the overall style of the piece, which is what I'm always keeping in mind. We've got the pinks, the darker reddy pinks, the blues that are popping up. We've got some of the yellow. So the prompt again was embossed. We've embossed some paper with an embossing folder. We've used embossing glaze, and we've used embossing glaze there. And then this feels embossed because it is a wax seal. So what do you think, guys? I know it was a chaotic video, but some days just be like that at the craft table. And as I say, I always like to try and be authentic with you guys, so you can see me struggling and you can see me not always 100% happy with a page. I really love this flip book. I really love the way I can just kind of flip things kind of differently so that they fit differently. Yeah. So that was today's page. That is day 6. And the prompt embossed. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration from it anyway. Please do like, subscribe and share and comment. I really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a lot of crafty fun. Bye for now.